Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. This beautiful Tuesday Reviews Day. We're talking Slapshot, and to do so with me today, we have Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat reporter, Charlie O'Connor, as well as Broad Street Hockey's own, as some people may know, Kelly Hinkle. What's up today, guys?
Oh, it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Sure is Tuesday.
I've been planning Tuesday Reviews Day for a week now. All day was convinced it was Wednesday. Had no idea what day it was until I got here today.
You did great.
Kelly, do you remember the trade deadline show we did at Chicken or the Egg?
Yes.
And I ate those wings. You ate them, no problem.
Yes.
And I had a mini meltdown.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I can handle spicy stuff anymore. That level of... Before you guys got here, and thank God Bryn showed up when she did to let me in because I forgot my key today. I was just standing around like a bum. Buffalo Wild Wings dropped off some food here yesterday for National Chicken Wing Day. And
I was bummed that I missed that.
They have this blazing sauce.
Yeah.
So I'll eat that. Sounds good. I had another meltdown today.
Did you really?
I was running around out there, running my face under the sink, drinking Pepsi out of the 2-liter.
I'm impressed. It's
I don't know what has happened to me.
I guess especially for our new partner Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm impressed because I've never had their wings. I've been to Buffalo Wild Wings. I've never had their wings. I'm impressed that they have legitimately really spicy wings.
You would think
That's
a
cool.
chain like that is okay, it's going to be
we got to dull it down for the masses.
But they have
respect.
I should have just gone with the regular buffalo sauce. The place, and I was I can't I don't know what has happened to me. It's just over. I just got to stick.
That.
I just got to stick with Frank's Red Hot or something.
Yeah.
For the record, I love B-dubs.
You got to have your limit. You got to know your limits.
I guess we do.
We're just learning your new limit now.
There is nothing going on in hockey now. It's really over.
Everybody's definitely at the cabins.
It is really
the cottage.
The cottages, yeah. It's really, really over.
I think some have shore houses, personally.
Well, the ones from around here, surely.
Yeah.
Danny Briere's at the shore. Oh,
yeah. Good stuff. John Stevens, I'm sure, still back at his place. Yeah. But some things did happen yesterday that I thought before we get into the Slapshot talk we should get to.
Just saying, I called this.
The first of which...
I freaking called this.
Matvei Michkov throws out the first pitch.
Insider.
At the
It was
Phil's,
inevitable.
At the Phil... Oh,
the minute I saw those pictures, him getting off the plane, having the Phillies hat, I'm like, okay, if they weren't planning to have him throw out a first pitch, the call has already happened to see if he can throw out a first pitch.
So he gets his Michkov Phillies jersey. He meets with Rob Thompson. Takes a picture.
Big hockey fan, Canadian.
Yeah.
Canadian
Picture
Rob
Zach
Thompson.
Wheeler. Rob Thompson is never happier than when he's talking about hockey. It's
true.
the only time I ever really see him engaged in a conversation. He's
fun.
we're going to talk some hockey? All right, yeah. The rest of the time, he's yeah, whatever. But the video, we wondered if he can throw a baseball.
Hey, he did it.
And
wasn't bad.
For someone's probably first time, not horrible.
No, one imagines he hasn't
strike.
thrown a baseball many times in his life.
You gotta believe, because I did see some people I can't. How come these high-level athletes? I'm he's Russian.
Yeah,
and not Ivan Provorov Russian.
No,
this motherfucker is from Russia.
Yeah,
he just got here a week ago. And not too bad.
No,
not too bad,
good.
I would say.
Well, he had that video years ago, the one he posted on social, where he threw the basketball backwards and it goes in the net.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine...
And that was awkward as shit, too.
I imagine he probably tried that about 100 times before they could post one.
Nah,
but he got one.
He got one. I'm
First
thinking
try.
of, is it the Andy Samberg movie Pop Star, where he throws it behind his back and all his boys just react it went in.
That is such a good
He's
movie.
it is nowhere close.
Nowhere close.
But I was happy to see it. It's the thing I liked about this, though. And him just getting the hero's welcome, the jersey, doing the whole media tour, rolling out the red carpet. Welcome to the city. You're the face of the franchise. Congratulations, young teenager.
Yeah.
The teammates. Yeah, there's Rob Thompson there. The teammates is the picture I wanted to point out. That is good.
That's great.
We talked
exactly
yesterday.
what we want to see.
Yeah.
We talked yesterday about him getting ingratiated into the, the social club of the team with the other youngish guys. And here we go. This is very important. Obviously, the thing that is most important, he becomes a superstar player.
Yeah.
But becoming a part of the team and being comfortable early is, as we've talked about so much with Kolosov, a real big deal.
Yeah.
And here we see it. And I find this very encouraging for the way this season is going to go.
I like this because, and this is based on nothing but my own interpretation of vibes, I feel like this is the popular group.
Yeah.
Like, this is the cool kids table in the Flyers locker room. Like, these guys are the cool guys.
The younger guys.
Yeah.
Like, because I think guys like Coots and Lawton, like, they are very well respected.
Sure.
But they're also older.
They're 30.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're
our age.
Yeah, they're right, exactly. Like, this is the core group of dude bros. This is who Joel Farabee was referencing when he tweeted that he was missing the homies. This is who Michkov needs to be in with, and it's awesome to see these guys just being like, "Yup, he's our boy. Here he is."
I kind of knew they were going to do it.
Yeah.
And the one, and granted, there was a pre-existing connection here because York and Drysdale knew each other via the Zegras connection. But the fact that Drysdale gets traded, and within a month he is going on the All-Star game bye-week trip. He's on that trip. Like, York maybe knew him a bit. Nobody else did. It was just like, yeah, bro, come on, come to the Bahamas or wherever they went. And it just seems like that group is a pretty open group.
I like it.
It just seems like they're like, yeah, you seem cool. Come join us.
Right.
And honestly, from their standpoint, it's like, yo, things around here have fucking sucked. Is this guy gonna make us good?
Yeah.
Or like, are we gonna get in places for free now because the team's relevant? Like, that would be nice. Like, all that shit probably plays a big part of it.
People might know
I'm
who
sure
we are.
they do fine.
And
I'm
obviously,
sure they do fine.
Obviously, Matvei also can't be a dick. But
Yeah.
we're crossing our fingers that he's not a dick.
Yeah. I do wonder, like, how are they communicating? Is it straight Google Translate?
Here's the thing, William. I watch a lot of 90 Day Fiancé. I've seen entire relationships flourish through cell phones, like just people translating on cell phones. It can be done. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but you don't have to be isolated.
No.
Because you don't speak the language. You can show B is like, did you see that hot girl in the third row? Like they can do it. It's fine. Like they can figure it out. They're young.
I will say, like, my buddy Cubby, he did date a young lady for like 10 years, and she spoke very little to no English. It worked.
You can do it, folks.
I mean,
it work.
It's a healthy relationship there, but I guess it's possible.
Who wants to talk to people
He
anyway?
spoke zero Spanish either. But like, I'm just happy to see it happening, like, in a setting like this in the off season, well before training camp and all the rigors of dealing with John Tortorella have happened.
Yes. Also, we know that Michkov can be abrasive at times with demanding a lot from his teammates. Having a base of like, yeah, we drank, we hung out, he's cool. Like, even if he yells in Russian a couple times, like, and I'm not sure if he's yelling at me or just yelling in general, it's fine. You know, Maddie's cool, dude.
Yeah. No, that's like having, like, on the ice, he's a certain way, but he's our boy off of it.
Yeah.
Probably softens that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, all right, yeah, man, like, he's awesome, and we're all right. It is what it is, and that's just the way it's going to be. But I was just happy to see this.
I was too.
This thing unfold, and it's those guys have done this shit before. They kind of, all right, yeah, man, we go and meet the manager and we talk to the guys a little bit, and they come up to you. I was like, all the Phillies players coming up to Michkov in the dugout. I'm just like, they have no idea. They have absolutely no idea who this dude is. And that really cracked me up.
Because Harper's a hockey guy.
Harper just
Well, he's not like a diehard, but
He goes to games
he's
and
from
shit.
Vegas. He likes the Golden Knights.
of
Like,
us.
he got into that whole thing.
He went to that Columbus game just because he happened to be in Columbus.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny as hell.
Harper definitely knows who Michkov is.
Yeah.
Harper's such a Philly guy now. There's no way he hasn't been following the excitement around Michkov.
No, that definitely, like, I picture Harper has, like, a binder
Yeah.
of, like, shit he needs to know. Like, and Michkov has shown up in the binder recently. So he's just studying. So I just thought that was good to see. Another thing I want to talk about, I just saw this. It showed up in the flyby today.
Oh.
But the top 25 players of the 21st century list on ESPN. Honestly, one of my buddies just sent this to me because I was like yelling about lists the other day in like this group chat where we just talk about things I hate in the media, basically. And like, I think like historical lists have more merit than, hey, here are the top quarterbacks right now. It's like, I don't care what you think. Like, I really, we have Prescott at 5 and we have Hurts at 8. I'm like, all right, whatever. But this list I think is entirely tame and pretty okay. Like I'd have Datsuk higher. He comes in at like 22 behind like Kopitar.
As below.
Yeah, that's the reverse of recency bias.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a young person.
We haven't
wrote this
remembered
list.
him.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in the NHL in years.
Right.
People have forgotten just how great he was.
But I think this is mostly a pretty tame list. It's okay. Except...
Like I'd put Lidstrom over Kane.
Yes.
And like, look, like Kane, great player. I may
put
not,
McKinnon
I
over
may
Kane,
not
too.
think highly of him as a person, but
Brodeur,
like
off the
Lidstrom is
list.
the best defenseman I've watched in my life.
He's real good.
Nick Lidstrom is probably one of the 2 best defensemen of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like also he did
At least
have,
top 5 of them.
Yeah, like he did have a whole, I don't know, long, but like he had a pre-21st century career as well. So there's some, but like he won, every Norris trophy.
And he retired not because he wasn't good. It was like,
I'm not the best
Oh,
anymore.
I'm not like one of the 5 best defensemen in hockey anymore. I guess I just can't do this anymore.
I am simply only top 10 at 40 years old. But they have, all right, you want to put Brodeur on here, fine, whatever. They have Marc-Andre Fleury on this list at number 18.
18.
And like...
Over Vasilevsky.
What are we doing?
All right.
And like key accomplishments, 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
He did do that.
I guess.
He was there.
Like he's the backup for 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like,
He was there.
Whatever. But like overall, like just scrolling this list, do you think there are any like
Datsuk should be higher.
Datsuk should be higher? Kane, I guess.
Kopitar. Is he one of the 25 best?
He's the best player on a team that won 2 cups,
Yeah,
which is like
right.
real hard to do this
I
day
guess,
and age.
yeah.
Like the guys who have won the multiple cups in the Cap era
Yeah.
are like Crosby,
I'm just, yeah.
Kane, and him. Like
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
guess.
Everyone else has been kind of a one and done situation,
Yeah.
I guess. And you want to reward him, but Quick is on the list as well. I think he was number 25.
Yeah, that's another one where I'm like,
Quick was awesome.
I would not put Quick on there.
on a list of the top, I mean, like, if we were like really narrowing the window of time we were talking about here, you could make an argument for Jonathan Quick at one point.
But since I guess we're going to go...
Yeah,
Are we going with the real definition of 21st century or since 2000? That's probably in the top of
even
this.
then, like,
But
if you have to put another LA King on the list, I would put Doughty over Quick.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Doughty's still going and he's still real good.
He's still good.
I guess.
Yeah.
Quick being American, I think, plays in here. And it's like, among U.S. Career leader in wins and shutouts among U.S.-born goalies. He did win the 2 cups. He did get one Conn Smythe, right?
I just think there is, and this is understandable, there's a bias on this list towards the players that are playing now because we're watching them now. Like
ESPN carries games.
I do not think that Leon Draisaitl is the 13th best player of the 21st century. I think he's very good.
No.
I do not think he is he's never been the best player on his team.
Yeah.
And I question whether he is. I don't question whether Evgeny Malkin could not have been the best player on any other team in hockey. I question whether Leon Draisaitl, if he's the best player on the Detroit Red Wings, if the Red Wings are a cup contender. I'm unsure.
It is. No, and I think you do have to do that for an effective list. Like, if I would have Leon Draisaitl on this list.
I might have him on the list. I wouldn't have it 13.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have him over Joe Thornton.
I don't know if I'd have Fleury or Quick on here.
I don't think I would have Leon Draisaitl ahead of Austin Matthews. I think Austin Matthews is a better hockey player.
I agree.
Yeah, I would take Matthews over Draisaitl.
I agree. But there have been times And like I might have him like 20 or something. But there have been times McDavid has been out and Draisaitl's going nuts.
Sure.
Like those, and it's small sample size, but it's happened. Like I don't want to quibble over a guy that's at 13. I'm like, yeah, I might have him at like 19. Like I think that's okay. I just think honestly the inclusion of Marc-Andre Fleury on this list is insane. And I'm all for him going in the Hall of Fame because I think
he's part of the story of hockey of the era.
Yeah, like Hall of Fame is not Hall of Great Statistics.
Yes.
It's the Hall of Fame. And if you are a star level, like a known commodity like Marc-Andre Fleury, that is totally fine if you make the Hall of Fame. But like 25 best no, I'd have Claude Giroux on this list before Marc-Andre Fleury. And I'm not saying Claude Giroux belongs on the list, but if I was going to rank them, I'd probably have him ahead.
I think there's definitely
there's a lot of dudes. Like,
there.
Drew Doughty absolutely belongs on the list over Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
But they also don't want to. Everyone discludes goalies.
Yeah.
Like, I understand wanting to be like, well, we need to be inclusive of goaltenders.
Gotta have the goalies on there.
Like, we don't want to just have Henrik Lundqvist and that's it. Like, I get it. Okay. But
he wasn't on there?
He is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, he obviously should. Yeah,
But that's it. If you want to check it out, it's on ESPN. It's list season. And honestly, in terms of like lists you see, especially given the outlet, I don't think this is horrible.
No, it's one of the tamer lists.
Yeah,
we'll see
it's
in
fine.
the off season.
So it is Slapshot Day, but before we get into that, I want to tell you about one of our newest partners here. This is an exciting one for me. It is Bet365, our new sportsbook partner here at PHLY. And I can tell you about some of the general talking points. 90 million users worldwide, Bet365 live streams, 780,000 events each year. The live in-game betting, they were one of the pioneers of live in-game betting. But I want to tell you about one of these features that's really freaking cool. The early payout offers across NBA, NFL, NHL, and Major League Baseball. Really good stuff here. If your team, say you're betting some hockey on Bet365, your team goes up by 3 goals, automatic payout.
Oh.
You don't have to sweat out oh, man, well, okay, it's the second period. I still have another 30 minutes to go. Whatever. Nope. You're good. You get your payout right away. This happens to them where they have to pay out both sides of a bet all the time. They just do it because they think it's good business. And honestly, I don't know about that, but it works for me. I will absolutely not have to sweat out blown leads and, this Sam Harrison just decided to forget how to stop a puck for a second. I am a big proponent of Bet365, and right now at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe every sport should be epic. So right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Use the code PHLY365 to sign up. Deposit $10 and claim your offer. There's all sorts of other things going on at Bet365. Thousands of boosts every day. You see it right on their homepage when you log in. So download the app. You can, if you're watching, you can download it. You can scan that QR code right on the screen right now. Make sure you use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Very excited for them to be one of our newest partners. And while we're here, let me tell you about our friends over at Lucy Nicotine. That's right, Lucy Nicotine. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. Lucy, one of the things I like about this product, it's not like every other pouch company that's owned by Big Tobacco. You are not maybe supporting some of those bigger companies out there that I think we've learned over the years you really can't trust. They're like the mom and pop shop of pouches, and the pouches come in a variety of strengths from 4 to 8 to 12 milligrams. And like Shane Gillis says, those 12s will put you on the moon. And the flavors are really what I've liked. I've told you about the mango. I don't like mango stuff typically. Really enjoyed those. The wintergreen and mint, really good as well. And if you're not a pouch guy or gal, the gum is available in 2, 4, and 6 milligram doses as well. So set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/flyers and use promo code FLYERS to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co and use code FLYERS to get 20% off and always free shipping. And here comes that fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. All right, Slapshot time, baby.
Yeah.
Reviews Day Tuesday, we've made it. I don't think the Flyers have traded for Shane Pinto or anything. So here we are. It's actually going to happen. We're going to Kelly's shaking her head. We're going to talk about the movie. And I just want to, if you haven't seen it, check out my interview with Dave Hansen. I watched this movie.
How many times do you think you've seen this movie?
How many times have you gone to the bathroom in your life? It was a lot of fun getting to talk to one of the Hansen brothers.
Look at Bill's face.
You're so happy.
Oh, dude, it was
Makes me so happy.
I was like, I'm just gonna bullshit with this guy about the movie, and it was really fun. Dave Hansen, this has always been the wildest thing to me. So Dave Hansen, his character in the movie, there's actually three brothers, the Carlson brothers. They were on the Johnstown Jets in the 70s. All three of them were supposed to be the Hansen brothers in the movies. One of them actually couldn't make it because his team was in the playoffs. So he filled in as a Hansen brother. And then Killer Carlson is based on Dave Hansen. That just went to some other random guy.
Everything about this movie
very,
rules.
very weird.
The lore.
Very
the lore
funny.
is extensive.
But that's the thing I had to say to him was you were in a movie in the 70s with Paul freaking Newman. And if you were to poll 100 random hockey fans, they would mention the Hansen brothers before they mentioned Reg Dunlop. He's like, yeah, man, my life has been crazy. I've been playing this character now. So I've been watching this movie. I saw this way too young, wildly inappropriate. But this is what happens when a lot of your friends are a few years older than you. And, we all played hockey. And then rainy days, my buddy would bring over the VHS tape of Slapshot. Let's watch this.
Right.
All right, John, you're 12 and I'm 7. Yeah, let's watch this movie. Let's watch this movie, I guess.
Wow.
What was the first time you saw the movie? Can you remember being oh yeah, this is a hockey classic? Was it a thing you remember seeing young?
I wasn't too young. There was a period of time when I was really settling into being a hockey person, which in the late 90s was a very niche thing to be. And so I kind of just started absorbing hockey things. Mm. It's when I got into the Tragically Hip. It's when I saw Slapshot. It's when I took my first road trip to Canada to see juniors games. It was a period of time in the early aughts when I was doing all of these things. And that's when I saw Slapshot. I believe I rented it from a Blockbuster.
From a Blockbuster.
Yeah, I don't have the as a kid watching Slapshot.
Right.
What I remember about Slapshot was that it was one of those movies where my dad would talk about how funny it is, but then be you can't watch it.
Yeah.
When you can watch that when you're old, you can't watch it. So
Yeah.
I think I first watched it probably in my early 20s.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think it was when it was okay, I should probably watch all these movies that you need to watch, and that was one of them. And I think I just rented it and watched it.
I just remember there's this one time my grandparents, and they were older, religious people, but would watch a good comedy. My mom was oh, this hockey movie you and your dad are always talking about, let's watch that with Pop. I was
Maybe not.
I don't know how to say we shouldn't do that without ratting myself out here. So I guess I'll just put this on and see what happens. And we got 10 minutes in, and my mom was like, what the fuck is this? How are you even letting him watch this? And my dad's I don't know. He's just blaming me. God damn it, I'm a child. How's this my fault? You just let me watch it. I don't know.
Incredible.
But it is a movie that I feel so many hockey fans saw way too young. I remember reading this Bill Simmons article back in the day, and it was Kate Winslet said she wasn't doing nude scenes anymore. It was for a certain generation, that's first nude scene you ever saw. For his generation, he was Slapshot. I was shit, me too. I'm 20 years younger than you. And that's just the kind of movie it was. And it had all these things.
Well, I think there's an element with Slapshot too, and this can't be removed from the appeal of Slapshot. It's a good movie, to be sure, but there aren't a ton of hockey movies.
Yes.
No.
And
absolutely.
And there also aren't a ton of hockey movies, really aren't a ton of hockey movies that try to capture the, like, I don't even want to say darker side, but just like kind of like the seedy underbelly of hockey.
Yeah.
That's the, like, this isn't
the Mighty Ducks.
Certainly not a children's movie
No.
like the Mighty Ducks. It's not an inspiring movie like Miracle, which is based on a true story.
Right.
Like this, it's not like an NHL movie. This is as far away from the show as you can get, like small town, minor league hockey.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, this is, I mean, shit, in the 90s with the AHL, this is still how they drew in fans. Like, yeah, man, of course. Like, we have some young players and some guys who are just, as we call them now.
But we got the animal.
Quad A guys. But it's like, we have to have like 4 fighters on every team, man.
Right.
Like, this is the way it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
This is how we get people to come watch hockey. But I will say, like, beyond the violence and the vulgarity and the great laughs, and those are all real good reasons to watch this movie, there is, like, this tragic story of Reggie Dunlop. And, like, Paul Newman, I think, does an outstanding, outstanding job in this movie of, like, guy well past his prime. He looks 100 out there on the ice. And he's like holding on in this federal league in this small, mill town in middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. And I've always loved the idea, like the players on the team who are or will be one day in his spot where they have nothing else. They need him, so they believe his bullshit. Killer Carlson, Denny Lemieux, the captain, Johnny, like Ned's wife, Lily, who's like stuck in this town, has nothing else going on. Like, yeah, I buy into whatever bullshit you're selling. And then, like, his wife, who's seen everything, is like, this guy's a fucking moron. And Ned, who they make a point to tell you, like, he went to college. He doesn't need hockey.
Right.
He's like, you're making shit up, man. I don't believe this for a second. And then the owner, who's like, yeah, man, I don't care. I'd rather fold the team than sell it. They all don't buy in. They all roll his eyes at his bullshit. And, like, him tragically, like, trying to push the boulder up the hill and make something happen that is never going to happen, I think is a tremendous story as well. But the thing everyone will take away from it is the vulgarity and violence.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what makes the movie what it is.
Oh, to be sure. I will say, though, like, that diatribe that you just went through, it's interesting. But I won't say that when I rewatched it for this that I had those kinds of deep thoughts. I did not. But what I will say is that seeing it, because I haven't watched this movie in a few years. I've probably watched this movie 3 or 4 times. This is like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen it. The ending is better than I remember because it is one of those legitimately good, ambiguous endings where, like, he comes up to his ex-wife and he's walking alongside the car and he's spinning another yarn of he's taking the team to Minnesota, and, like, you want to believe that he's actually pulling it off, and she's just like, okay, bye.
I love how she gives so little of a shit.
Yeah.
She is moving out in the middle of the parade. It is the middle of the championship parade, and she's like, I got my trailer. I'm getting the fuck out of town, man. The mill's closing. I don't give a shit.
But, like, in so many ways, it is a dumb, vulgar movie.
Yeah.
But the ending is actually legitimately a little artistic.
Yeah.
Because you have it's a commentary on just how full of shit this guy is. And, like, maybe it's true.
They won the championship.
Maybe they are going to Minnesota. But, like, he's just run out of bullshit to sell, at least with this one woman.
I have seen this movie hundreds of times. Did they ever tell you that they're, like, in the championship until they're, like, in the championship?
No.
It just sort of happens.
Yeah, it does just sort of happen.
It just sort of
Yeah.
freaking
There's no real
happens.
playoff run.
Because, like, they play Syracuse, and then it's like, oh, surprise, we're playing Syracuse again, and it's the title.
So I wanted to ask you guys a question about this. So I can't remember. The problem is that we like each other, so we talk sometimes not on this show, and I can't remember if we talked about it there. But anyway, we've talked about how the Flyers, when they won the Cups, were legitimately like stars. Like, not kind of like way more than hockey players are now when they win the Cup. Like, people knew who the Broad Street Bullies were. They were fucking famous.
Locally or nationally?
Nationally.
Okay, yeah.
Like, they were
locally, they definitely were. I mean, they would just walk into
like,
stores and
so
people knew
I
who they
think
were.
nationally, they were, I mean, not like LeBron level, but they were more like everyone. I feel like a lot of people knew who they were without being like diehard hockey fans. And I wonder like if the Bullies hadn't been such a thing and hadn't won the way that they did and been the Broad Street Bullies and had that moniker, like would this movie, like written by a random woman about her brother, I think, who played in this shitty hockey league.
Ned Dowd played
he
on these teams.
And he plays Ogie.
Somehow you get Paul Newman in this movie and it turns into like an actual Hollywood. Like, I just wonder if like that little bit of like Philadelphia cultural touchstone like played a part in this movie actually getting to be what it was.
It might have.
I think it absolutely, given that it came out in 77.
Exactly.
Like, I think it absolutely had to.
Like, let's be honest. Hollywood producers and Hollywood studios, they're not original. And you can see it if you watch, like, when a movie pops up today, like, you can, if you think about it for more than a few seconds, you can envision how that was pitched to the studio. Where it's like, oh, like, imagine this, but with this. And it's like, oh, that's how that movie got pitched. Right. And I would not be at all shocked if Slapshot was pitched as, what if the Broad Street Bullies, but in small town, middle of nowhere?
Yeah, with, you know, labor and ownership and what happens when a mill leaves a city. Like, there's all kinds of, you know, minutia.
Like, what if we took that and put it in minor league hockey in the middle of nowhere and then got a star to be the lead? And it's like, sure, we'll fund that one. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I
definitely think that is a major part of it. And it's definitely like a major part of its appeal to me. Like,
for sure.
And like, I've been trying, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it happen, but like Paul Holmgren was on the Johnstown Jets. He never played with Ned Dowd. Dowd was there like the 2 years before him, but he played with the Carlson brothers. Like he played with Dave Hansen. Like they were teammates. And like, he ran the fucking Flyers at one point, you know? Like, that is absolutely freaking insane to me. We're going to get into, like, some of the stuff, favorite character, scene line. Like, we have the whole graphic and everything. Have you guys ever seen any of the sequels?
No, I have
There's
not.
a 2 and a 3.
I have not.
I think I might have seen 2 and then blocked it out from my consciousness.
2
I don't remember anything from
I would imagine like none of the big stars are in the series, right?
Just the Hanson.
Just the Hanson brothers,
2 is the team somehow still exists. And they get sold to this, it's basically they're going to be the Washington Generals. And there's a team that's going to be the Globetrotters. And it's like this traveling fucking nonsense thing. And they eventually get worn down and are like, nah, we're just going to beat the shit out of them. Like, that's, I have never seen 3.
Starring the Biodome guy. Number 2.
But it's, I wouldn't recommend any of the sequels.
No, you don't need to waste your time with the sequels. No. Just watch the real one.
Let's get to some of the stuff that I wanted to do. The favorite character. Let's start with favorite characters.
I mean.
Now,
I truly did not know which way this is going to go, and then figured out very quickly that me and Kelly are absolutely on the same page here.
Yeah, it's Denny Lemieux.
It's Denny Lemieux. He's so good.
You guys, the rookie goalie, Denny Lemieux, and trade me right fucking now when he's just on the phone trying to, like, someone's just telling him what to say.
With
like
that perfect French Canadian accent.
Then hang up.
So good. Hang up. Like, owns.
First of all, can we talk about him being rookie? How old was everyone in the 1970s? It's so funny that people looked so old back then.
I'll tell you. This comes up all the time when you're like, this is what my grandfather looked like when he served in World War, and it's like he looks like he's 90 and he's 18.
Yes.
Smoking indoors,
seriously,
is absolutely there. There's never been a better advertisement against smoking inside than what people looked like in the 60s and 70s compared to
just
now.
So old.
It's a good point. That is a good point. No, Denny Lemieux is definitely my favorite character. And he's not in like all of the scenes. But whenever he's in a scene, it's one of the funniest scenes.
Exactly. He's making you laugh hysterically.
I will get to this overarching scene because when we get into it. But one of my low-key, and I'd honestly forgotten about it until I rewatched it, when Ogie Oglethorpe comes in and then he's just like, Oglethorpe! It's so good. And he's like horrified, like the sincere look of horror on his face when he like says Oglethorpe's name in a French Canadian accent is the best.
French Canadian accents are so good
They
because they're
really
not
are.
like regular French accents.
No.
They're something entirely different.
Something
I have
entirely
like
different.
burned into my brain. This is like very random. A memory of Marty Biron on television talking about something, and he said toothpaste instead of toothpaste, and it's like seared into my memory. It's like one of my favorite things. Anywho, I love the French Canadians.
For my favorite character, I mentioned this to Dave Hansen in the interview. Like the efficiency of Mo in this movie, every time he's on the screen, he is being absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Like
Fair.
he's never not on screen being hilarious. And I love like the faces he makes, like his mannerisms, the stories he tells, which are absolutely definitely lies and ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's, to me, one of the funniest characters in the movie. And like there's so many little characters, like Walt the bus driver.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Like just hitting the bus with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Walt, what are you doing? Making it look mean. Just hitting it with a fucking sledgehammer. Like there's so many good little characters in this movie that make it so great. But I got to go with Mo because just
one.
like his faces and
He's
shit that
very
he makes
funny.
are so great. Favorite scenes, and like every scene in this, like when I was watching it, I was like, I'm gonna write this one down. I'm gonna write. Well, I've written down the whole movie. Like now I have literally written down the whole movie, but I think you two are again kind of on the same page here.
Okay, so my favorite scene, and there are great lines in this scene, but it's just the entire overarching scene is start to finish hilarious. Is when they're setting up for the title game, and you find out that Syracuse is bringing in all the ringers, and they just start like leading them out. Like you have the one when they bring in the one guy whose nickname is Poodle, and the guy's like, "Not Poodle."
That might be Frankie's favorite line in the movie. He has named his fantasy team Not Poodle multiple times.
Like, again,
Amazing.
like sincere, genuine
Yes.
horror of like, oh my God. And then they bring, and like, again, this is something that like doesn't age terribly well, but
No.
they bring out the Native American. But just, I will never not
Jesus
laugh
Christ.
at him saying that he calls everyone he plays little scalps. Like, it's great. And then they bring out Ogie Oglethorpe,
Yeah.
which like they do. And again, like it's a dumb movie. But they do such a good job of setting it up. It's like Chekhov's hockey player.
Yes.
Like they spend the whole movie like just in little asides talking about this lunatic Ogie Oglethorpe, and you forget about it because it's just like, oh, like that's just like, you know, they're just shooting the shit in the locker room, whatever. And then when you see the PA announcer like and he's like, oh my God, and then you're like, oh my God, they're bringing out Ogie, and then they do, and he looks just as ridiculous as you would think with the afro and just the look of horror of everyone on the bench,
It's
and
so
then you
good.
have Denny being like, Oglethorpe. It's just start to finish like a good like 2 minutes of just constant laughing.
Yes.
Also, based on another real player, Bob Goldthorpe. I think there's a book about it, like the real story of Ogie Oglethorpe. It's this guy Bob Oglethorpe. Like, it just. I love when they're announcing him and they're like, his deportation back to Canada and that country's subsequent refusal to accept it.
Yeah, like-
it's like, and now he's just allowed to play for Syracuse.
I almost picked that as my favorite line,
it's very
but
funny.
then I decided like, no, it's just the whole scene.
It's a very good scene.
There's my excellent stuff. Kelly, what's your? Yours is okay.
I mean, I was gonna do the chalk pick, which is the interview with Denny at the beginning, which is hilarious, start to finish. But just like one of those little scenes that made me laugh hysterically is when the ref is like, they're doing a national anthem, and the ref, you can like see him like stewing, and then he turns around and he goes to the Hansons and he starts yelling at them. They're just like, "We're listening to the song."
Yeah, that's my favorite line.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Listen to the fucking song.
There's this scene where it's when Paul Newman is trying to make Ned crazy by constantly picking at and hitting on his wife.
Right.
And his wife is in the park drinking, kind of spying on Ned as he's like talking to other women around town. He's really going to blow her away with his views on life, like all the crazy shit Ned
That
probably
was
thinks.
funny.
And she just like, there's this statue of a dog in the park that they're in. She goes, what's the story with that dog? It's like, saved Charlestown from the 1939 flood. Well, fuck him. I absolutely love that scene so much. It's so good. There's so many good ones in this movie. I think like coaching. Oh, my favorite. That was my favorite line. The favorite scene is the when Reg goes to confront the general manager about acquiring the Hansons. And he's after he sees them like playing with race cars in their hotel room. He just goes, they brought their fucking toys with them. Rather have them playing with their toys than playing with themselves. They're too stupid to play with themselves. Reg, that reminds me. Coaching in Omaha back in 48. Eddie Shore sends me this player. Terrible masturbator. He used to get deliberate penalties to get alone in the penalty box all by himself. Oh my God. Damned if he wouldn't. He just makes this ridiculous. I laugh hysterically at that scene every time. But yeah, the favorite line I had for fuck him.
The one that I almost...
Kids, if you're watching, you shouldn't see this movie till you're
not
honestly,
yet.
this really explains the way I am.
It very much does. The other scene that I considered, or even line, but really it's a scene, and it's just one of those iconic scenes that everybody brings up, but it's iconic for a good reason. When Denny Lemieux goes into the office, who owned the Chiefs? Owns, and then he goes, owns, and then Paul Newman's right there, like, what did he say? He said owns. And he's like, oh god damn it! Like, just such a good.
Like he's just not gonna get like the GM is just like, yeah, I'm not giving you an answer. Dog. Like the artful dodging of the questions,
but
like
the owns is so good. And then him mimicking it the best.
What were the other favorite lines? Because I messed the whole thing
the English
up
pig with no brains from the Lemieux interview.
That's the opening interview where he explains all the penalties.
Right.
I was telling Bill, I forgot that was the open. It's been so long since I've seen this movie. I forgot that was like the opening scene of the movie.
It's a fantastic.
He's
mic'd fantastic cold open.
Yes.
Denny is mic'd up. And he goes and takes a piss, and then he comes back. It's like trying to get the mic back on him. It's really, really good stuff. But I remember like my coach in middle school, like I'm in the penalty box and he's just like, you go in the box 2 minutes by yourself. I'm like, you know? He's like, yes, I know it, Bill.
Everyone knows it.
How would I fucking not know it? I just was like, oh my God, my favorite thing. He's like, yes, of course I know this movie.
Feel shame. Ridiculous. Gotta feel shame.
And you go 2 minutes by yourself, you feel shame. And then you are free.
Yeah.
Charlie, what was your favorite line?
My favorite.
Oh, yours was
my favorite line is to listen to the fucking song.
It's very good.
As much as I love
just how they look too, they're like the glasses are all mangled. They're blood all over them. So before the game even started, and it's just like, and then they're so sincere, about we are crazy goons, but when that national anthem, we honor the anthem.
In this house, we stand for the anthem. Goddamn. No, that's really good stuff. Worst characters. This one was tough for me because I just love it so much. But I had to go with Johnny Upton, who is the captain of the team. And I simply don't like him because he's the only guy who wears a helmet.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, maybe he's a genius, especially.
Well, some would say,
at one point, he's getting his head banged on the ice. And it's like, well, thank God. But you know what? It's the 70s. What are you wearing a helmet out there for? But my one neighbor did have this helmet, and we would all fight over like trying to grab it and wear it in street hockey, like the old blue, like Jofa or something. Yeah. But that's it. He's my least favorite character.
I think my least favorite, and it's less about him because I think in a movie like this you do need a character like this, but like it's Braden because he's just like he's the straight man. He is. Yeah. He's the boring guy who doesn't get any of this madness. And like, I get why he's in it. You kind of need that pivot. Like you need that fulcrum for everything else to revolve around. I get it. But like, he is just a buzzkill.
Yes.
Like the entire movie, he's a buzzkill. And like, in the end, he does the striptease and that's funny. And of course, like that's the the commentary of the movie is like, everyone's totally fine with all this violence. But then like you inject a little bit of like, you know.
Balls, no way.
Yeah. Like that's just the most horrifying thing in the world, which is funny. But like for most of the movie, you're just kind of like, Oh, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, have some fun. Lighten up.
Yes.
And I did, like, I loved the, like, after the first one where Hanrahan jumps Reg and then they score on the empty net and they don't have a backup goal. He's like, it's a garbage win. It's wrestling shit out there. And then he does, like, the ultimate pageantry. Like, he's stripping down.
Yes.
Like, the turn that he takes is tremendous. But, yeah, he's an absolute freaking buzzkill.
Yeah.
College-educated douche.
For similar reasons, I don't like Lily. She's just
his wife.
his wife.
Right.
She's just like so whiny and annoying. Like, get a fucking hobby. Like, go volunteer at an animal shelter. Why are you so whiny all the time? Like, I'm so sorry your life sucks so bad that you have to live in this shitty little town. Figure out something besides drinking and driving your van around.
She does drink a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
And she took the dog.
Yeah.
That's all Ned wanted. He said, you take the van, I'll take the dog. And then she takes both when she leaves.
And then,
Like, you
of
had
course,
to
when
take
they
the
win,
dog,
she's
too.
out there with the dress on and the makeup. She's there when they win. Oh, now you're happy, aren't you? Fair weather.
Absolutely. Before we finish up this conversation about Slapshot, which, Jesus, I can't wait to see the comments. Like, this movie is the least appropriate thing in the world. And it's absolutely true. Like, it is an offensive movie. But regardless, before we move on, I got to tell you about our friends at Indeed. That's right. Now, we're all driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. It's to match. And match with Indeed. Maybe that's the way the GM found the Hansons. You know, they were looking for something specific. Maybe they found that match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. You can ditch the busy work and use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. But it's not just about finding candidates faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. That's right. How do they do it? By leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day. Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. You can join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast, and listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And while we're here, let me tell you about the Rite Aid LO Market. What's the LO Market? It is a line of Rite Aid exclusive branded candy, snacks, and pantry items that you can only find, that's right, at your local Rite Aid. Products include candy from classics like Peach Rings and Starlight Mints to gummy butterflies and sour worms. Who doesn't love a sour worm? They also have nuts and trail mixes if you're looking for those vitamins and healthy fats, fiber, protein, all that good stuff. Plus popcorn, beef jerky, granola, and pantry staples like honey and seasonings. So if you've got a snack attack, you've got to get to the LO Market. You can get it delivered same day or buy online and pick up in store. Go to riteaid.com/shop to order right now. That's riteaid.com/shop. Check out those LO Market products. All right. So that's pretty much the entire Slapshot conversation. Is there anything else anyone really took away from the movie that they wanted to get into? I love how your least favorite character is Lily. That cracks me up. Like, on one side, like, I see her side of it. Like, this is nonsense.
You signed up for it.
Yeah,
you knew your husband was going to play minor league hockey in a shit town. What did you think was going to happen when you got there?
You did. You probably should have seen this coming.
Yeah, and also, he's a professional hockey player. You knew he was going to do the other stuff too. Sorry.
Yeah.
So one thing that is wild to me, and I knew this on some level, but I guess I just didn't like ever do the math, is that like Paul Newman is 52 in this movie. And
do
like,
you think Reggie Dunlap is supposed to be 52?
and granted,
Probably
I don't think he's supposed to be that old, but he's definitely supposed to be old.
He's like Joe Thornton.
He's supposed to be in his like early to mid 40s. And like he's Paul Newman, so of course he looks younger than he actually always did. He was like the
hot
golden
as
boy.
fire.
But by the same token, like he was at this stage of his career, he was doing movies where he was an older. He was like one of my actually favorite movies of this era. Not a sports movie. I love the movie The Sting. I think The Sting is great. It's probably a top 20 movie of mine. And in that movie, Paul Newman is in it. He's great in it, but he is like the elder statesman to Robert Redford, who is like the young gun con man. And he was very much at the point of his career where he was taking on roles where he was, the older character among younger characters.
Yeah.
So I knew he was older. I did not realize like he is skating around at age 52 in this movie.
Doing pretty good too.
That's like when the scene where Dave Carlson like makes he's gonna do it. He jumps the dude in the face-off circle because he says Paul Newman's too old.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, you're too old to play this fucking game. Take that sentence back and jump. He is far too old to be playing this game, especially at this level.
Yes.
And I guess it makes some sense because he's like the player coach.
Yeah.
So he's also like, he is the coach of the team and everything. But he's in his 50s. Like, he is pure gray.
Yeah.
Like, this is what, 4 or 5 years after the Sting? Like, this is it. Like, this is older Paul Newman, and who's
it's 8 years after Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Yeah. So like 5 years later, he does The Verdict, where he's also another really good movie, but he's real friggin' old in that one. And he looks it. Like, at least in this one, he's still trying. It's very clear he's trying to pretend he's younger than he is. And like that plays into it, is that like, he's dressing young, like, he's still going out to bars. He's still, and that's part of it, is that he's trying to keep the glory days going.
Yeah.
He's trying, that one last con on everybody to keep playing hockey, and, we're going to keep going. And I mean, he says it's his last game, but like, is it really? Like, come on. He's gonna be out on the ice next season for somebody.
He's Yager.
Doing his shit.
He's Yager.
Yager, still playing.
Exactly.
And they're, you know what, honestly, that might make it more real because it's kind of the exact same thing. It's like he's playing to like keep his dad's team afloat or whatever he's doing. That's basically what Paul Newman's doing. So, you know what? Actually, I buy it now.
We love when
All
life
right,
imitates
before
art.
we get to the super chats, what movies should we do next? So I'm gonna try to do this as long as people seem interested. It's the off season.
This was fun.
Watch some hockey movies.
It reminded me of other stuff.
Other
It
stuff.
was the best
Other
part
stuff
of
is
the
a great
pandemic.
show.
Yeah.
It does run like the other stuff shows those were good times.
Yeah, it was fun.
I
It's
mean,
good times during a bad time.
horrible times.
Pandemic bad, but there were some good things.
We did our best to come up with content,
job,
and I think we did an all right job. So what are we thinking next?
So someone in your chat, when you first started talking about this, suggested Encino Man, which is very peripherally a hockey movie.
I've never seen that.
There's one
You've
hockey
never
scene.
seen Encino Man?
No.
I
Okay.
don't know if you know this about me. I fucking love Pauly Shore movies. I love them.
That
They are
really
cherished
tracks.
to
That
me.
really
I
tracks.
love Pauly Shore movies. So, like, if we were searching for a movie to do, I wouldn't be mad about having to watch Encino Man. However, it's not really a hockey movie.
I feel like if we're doing peripheral hockey movies, we should do something like Sudden Death.
I refuse.
That
I
would not be-
refuse to watch Most Valuable Primate. I will not do it.
That was suggested to me
No,
on Twitter.
we're not
was
doing Most
MVP.
Valuable Primate. I refuse. I actually think I watched that movie once on the advice of someone, and I regretted every moment of it. I was like, how?
What would work for me, convenience-wise, if we're doing peripheral hockey movies, is I'm going to the Vulgarathon this weekend.
Of course
The Kevin Smith Film Festival.
Oh,
okay,
Dogma.
Clark's.
Oh, Clark.
Oh yeah, they do play hockey in
play
that movie.
hockey on the roof.
They sure do.
That's a hockey movie.
So, we'll see. Like, I want to maybe stick to.
We should probably
like,
stick to the
Mystery
classics.
Alaska, get
Yeah.
that in there. But I'm
We
going to put
gotta
up a
do
poll
Miracle,
on
I
our
guess.
Twitter
Yeah, do a
probably
poll.
Yeah, do a
today.
poll.
Let the people
And,
There's like 2 or 3, and then see what they want.
People a couple options
people
and
want.
see what people respond to. But all right, let us get to the super chats for today.
Super chats.
See what we have. We got 2 super chats. First one from Adrian Franklin.
$3.99, Adrian.
We got a
it's
hockey
in
question.
Austrian dollars. I don't know how
Oh.
the
Is that what that means?
the exchange rate. Well,
That's
he says
wild.
much love from Austria.
Oh, okay. There we
hey,
go.
buddy.
Or Australia.
Australia.
Sorry, Australia. My
We
bad.
do have a big Australian contingent.
That's wild.
We are pretty good.
That's cool.
Our
Charlie's one of
podcast
those
does
people
pretty
that's
well
trying
in
to fly to
Australia.
Australia and ends
Yeah.
up in Vienna. Gets off the airplane. He's like, uh-oh. In the wrong
All right,
country.
so from Adrian Franklin, if Hunter McDonald becomes a standout defenseman, And with the hype he gets
injected into my veins
from the head office, does he have a chance of becoming captain after Coots' time is up? He seems like good leadership.
Yes.
Much love from Australia.
He's the next Pronger.
Probably.
Next Pronger, baby. You heard it here first.
He's not.
Write it down.
Let's be honest here, guys. He's not going to be the next captain. He's going to be the next general manager.
Probably. There's
more likely, honestly.
40 years down the road, Hunter McDonald will be the general manager. And if we are still doing this, I want this clip saved so that when he becomes a GM, I can say that I freaking called it.
Oh, my God. I'm hoping to be alive 40 years from now. I really hope it happens.
If any of us will be, it'll be you. You'll live to be 110.
Yes, seriously. You treat your body the worst, and you will live longer than both of us.
To be sure. No stress. That's the ticket.
But
no stress.
In all honesty, to go back to Hunter McDonald, I can't say that I know him well. If he makes it as an NHL player, hopefully I will build a relationship with him. What I will say is that he's a really nice guy to interview. He seems like a good dude, which, like, if you're going to play that role, you kind of have to be. I don't think he's going to be a goon, but he's not going to be a high-scoring defenseman.
He's going to be
He's going to be a bottom half of the lineup guy who hopefully can do enough with the puck where he's not a liability when he also brings the physicality and the intimidation that they like. He seems like a good dude. I've chatted with him a few times, have nothing bad to say about him, the person. Hopefully he develops into a good NHL player.
I will say, while I don't expect him to become a high-scoring defenseman, I will say that I was listening to the Chicklets interview with Brock Faber this morning, and it did make me think about Hunter McDonald because he said he never played power play or anything with the development program or any of that, and then suddenly he's like doing it for the Wild because everyone was hurt.
Yeah,
and now he just signed a huge contract. Like
you never know.
You're probably going to be at least power play 2 now, bud.
Maybe
a year.
Hunter McDonald, like he does have a decent first pass. He's a big guy. You got to figure he can at least develop a decent shot. Let's not rule it out. I was just thinking about that, and it's funny we got a question about McDonald today.
Another player for Danny Briere.
He has a heavy shot. Yeah, he has a heavy shot. I would not expect him to put him many points at the NHL level, but hey,
listen, you fire it enough.
You get that big shot. Maybe it can be like a Dan McGillis situation where it's just fire the puck, man, and we got whoever in front.
Yeah.
Get some tips, get some rebounds.
There we go.
Into it.
It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Probably
never.
Anyway, and from Linden 49, one thing about the 70s I miss is with the lack of helmets, I knew the name of every player in the league by sight alone. In 76, I was 26.
Wow. Okay.
I always wonder how we do with this generation, and Linden 49 is here every day.
It makes me happy.
The fact that Linden will regularly bring up things that it's very clear was lived through. I knew Linden 49 was older. I did not know Linden 49 was born in 1950. Wow.
That's pretty dope.
That's really cool.
Way to go. Linden's now one of my favorite listeners.
Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah.
I will say that
I am horrible at recognizing the players by sight. Like a lot of Flyers players, I'm like, well, they're redheaded, so it narrows it down to like 2 or 3 for me.
I see.
But I needed to really look at the photo of Michkov and who he was there with. Like, I am terrible. And I'm terrible at this in real life, not just with players.
No,
it's recognizing people and knowing their names. Ava's like, you've met this person. That's my cousin. I'm like, you have so many goddamn cousins.
If you asked me right now to pick Eric Johnson out of a lineup, I couldn't do it. I don't know what he looks like.
I don't think I could.
You show me a picture of Eric Johnson, that will be when I remember what Eric Johnson looks like.
Maybe if I saw his...
I never remember what these dudes look like. I know the back of their jersey. That's all I know.
When I was a little kid, I went to get Sean Podine's autograph at the Deptford Mall in like a Foot Locker or something. I had no idea what age, like 8 or 9 probably.
Plus, that was back in the day when you watched the games on TV, you couldn't see
you couldn't see their faces. No,
I just walked up to somebody with this little notebook I had that I got autographs in, and it was like an employee at the fucking Famous Footwear or something.
I love it.
And they all started. My dad was embarrassed, and everyone there just started cracking up.
That's amazing.
And he just pointed. I was like, I don't know. I know what he looks like in a Flyers jersey. He was just wearing regular clothes.
I love that I got Sean Podine's autograph at a car dealership.
They just
sent the same person.
They just sent him everywhere.
Places.
And the guy they traded him away for is now the president of hockey operations.
What a time to be alive.
My goodness.
Amazing.
All right.
No, I will say the one thing that I don't, and I am very much an NFL fan, I love football, and I'm not saying they shouldn't play without helmets, but what I'm saying is that aside from the top 4 or 5 guys, I have no idea what Eagles players look like.
And we very much would like to thank our diehards for all their contributions. We couldn't do it here without you, diehards. So thank you very much. Go to allphly.com to become a diehard. All right. Do we have anything else today? I think that pretty much.
That's it.
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Clean hour show. You know.
No more
what we
super
can for the
chats.
people.
Outstanding. Wow.
Good stuff.
2:00 and we're actually wrapping on time. This is maybe a first of the offseason.
Do you want me to bring up something nonsensical and talk about it for 20
they're going
minutes?
to trade for Zegras right now, and we're going to have to start the show all over. All right, and that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like as well. We need those thumbs up. It's good for us, apparently. And set those reminders so you never miss a live show. We'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week at 1 o'clock. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. Follow the podcast as well, PHLY Flyers, wherever you find those. That'll do it. My name is Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. That's Kelly Hinkle. Until tomorrow, fam, stay loose and sexy, Philly.
We all silly like the mayor.